Welcome back to Choose Christ Completely. We hope this segment of your time is a blessing to you and your family and deepens your relationship with the Father. I am Brandon Kegley, and together with Justin May, we're going to talk about Jesus calming the storm. We also have some special interns here with us today. So if the camera angles get screwed up, it's Rory's fault.
He's not going to mess it up. He's ready to go.
No.
So we have given them permission to interrupt us. So if they have something they want us to talk about or a question about something we're going through, they're welcome to raise their hand and talk. So if we're talking to someone off screen and you can't hear them, we can hear them. We'll repeat what they say and then talk about it. All right. So we got interns. We call them interns because they're cheap labor. You going to feed them?
Huh?
When are you going to feed them?
Oh, I'll feed them afterwards, yeah.
I remember when I used to go to work with my dad, that was always the payment. And he was like, you get to eat today. Thanks, Dad. You're right. Yeah. Well,
we're going to open it up with talking about the World Cup.
Now, listen, I do want to preface this with, you can't be too awful mad at me. I know you already said you're going to reprimand me here publicly. You can't be too mad, okay?
Well, he did have an excuse. So if you don't know what the World Cup is, it is an event that started in 1930, I think. I think the first game was 1930. And no, it started in 1930. No. And it is based on soccer, and it is honestly the world's largest event. Usually about somewhere between 750 and 1 billion people watch the sporting events. Literally, wars have stopped over the years to allow the competition to continue. So it's often known as the Peace Cup. But happens every 4 years, and it just happens to be hosted in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada this time. And Justin did not watch the U.S. play. Tell us why.
I mean, theoretically and philosophically, do you watch the U.S.?
You had a reason.
Do you watch the U.S. in every Olympic event they play?
The main ones. Yeah.
Okay. Well...
But you had an excuse this time.
But it's just an excuse. I can promise you.
But you were doing something at the time.
The next time they play, I'm going to come up with another one.
I know.
So my family was in Bristow, Virginia, so in Northern Virginia, at the Forrest Frank concert. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we were doing. There are lots of stories. I mean, you want the negative stories first?
Sure.
All right. There was a storm that was coming through. I mean, it was like one of the ones, probably it's going to be like a lot like today's. Yeah. Comes through fast, but is a lot of rain and stuff. And they just let us in the main gates. We had walked, I don't know, maybe not quite a mile from our car to the main gate. And they were like, okay, you have to evacuate. You have to go shelter in place in your cars. And I told the lady, I was like, I'm not walking all the way back to my car in this storm. I mean, I'm as safe walking back as I am standing right here. I said, neither's going to really change the outcome. And she said, well, sir, you can make whatever choice you want to make. We have to say, go shelter a place in your car. I said, gotcha. And so...
Daggum lawyers.
Yeah. So we took we brought ponchos. We knew it was happening. So we brought our Disney ponchos. There's a little bit of a happy story for you, but we all put ours on because we knew it was coming, and we tucked Shelby and Theo in the corner of a building, and I stood to the outside of everybody and took the blow. I was like, it ain't gonna be no big deal.
Yeah.
So that was first negative. Second negative was, I was driving, and I try to do the majority of the driving. Cindy, I don't know. Every spouse is different. Who drives on the trip? We can talk about that. Doesn't
we can, yeah.
But Cindy drove for an hour on this trip, or on the way up, maybe 30 minutes, not an hour. And we got up to exit 190, so 190 north on 81. And I was like, I'm sleepy. I'm gonna take like a 15, 20-minute nap. Will you drive? She's like, sure, I'm going to go in and get a drink. And so she went to the gas station we stopped at to get a drink. And by the time she came out, I was already asleep. And I hadn't
That's
been,
pretty quick, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I'm no problem. If I'm sleepy, I'll sleep and wake up and be fine. Wake up quick and be fine. And so then I go to sleep, and I wake up about 25 minutes later, and I look up at the mountains, and I'm like, oh, these are the wrong mountains. Not these mountains, Cindy. I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, I don't know. I said, you're going backwards. Like, we're going towards home. She's like, I'm not. I hadn't used the GPS up to this point because I essentially knew basically where I was going. I mean, it's a straight shot up there.
Yeah.
Just once you get towards the exit, then figure it out.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I put in Bristow, and we looked in, and she put in Bristol. And so that one letter difference is a big deal, y'all. It's about 30 minutes later, we were stopping on that exit, and I was like,
you're at 160.
I'm awake. We were at 168, I think.
Yeah.
So 22 miles, no big deal. I was like, I was mad.
A little like Arthur Christmas. Is that the name of the movie? Have you watched that one? He does that where a kid gets missed, and so he's trying to deliver the gift, and he types in Bristol or Bristow, I think, and it takes him to Mexico instead of England.
Yep. That's what happened. It was a one-letter difference, and we were headed back home. Here's the rub of the story. That's Harrisonburg.
Yeah.
190 is like, maybe 50 miles from Harrisonburg. That's close to where we lived.
Yeah.
We traveled that interstate at least once a month to come home.
Yeah. Shawnee would tell you that's why she never drives.
Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't like to, A, and she knows that, B, we're more likely to get where we're going if I'm driving.
So she's like, well, how did you even know? Because I was awake for just a second.
Yeah.
I was like, I can just tell these are our mountains, know. I know what these mountains look like. These are our mountains, and I know what the Harrisonburg Mountains look like.
Yeah.
I just knew it was the wrong way.
Yeah.
So we got into a disagreement.
So you did not wake up like Jesus did.
I didn't. I was suddenly woken up, and I was like, just pull over and let me drive. Like, just let me drive. She's like, I'm going to drive. It was an honest mistake. I was like, I'm driving. Like, I don't care what you do. And so she was just going to keep driving. She got slow enough to where I could get out of the car. And I was like, you just come pick me up when you want. I'm going to drive.
Wait, what do you mean? You got out of the car, she kept on driving?
So she was pulling off on like a little... on the curb of the road in a gravel lot. And she got slow enough because she wasn't going to stop. She got slow enough. And as soon as she got slow enough, I opened the door and stepped out. And then she rolled down the window and was like, just get back in. Let me drive. I was like, baby, I'm driving. Like, I just want to make it.
Yeah.
And neither of us shouted or anything. I was just like, I'm driving.
Yeah. Well, you missed a good game from a World Cup perspective because...
Did
the U.S. did win? Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, and they should have won. Paraguay was they don't have the same kind of caliber of talent that the U.S. does, but they did look really, really good. And Mike and I were talking about it here before. I think there was 26 to 27 million viewers on average for the whole game. And, I mean, this was 9:00 at night for Eastern time. So we looked at it, and it averaged more than what this game did last night for the Knicks and the Spurs.
Wow.
But it doesn't get the same amount of coverage across. I mean, think about it. More people watched it in the U.S. than watched a basketball game. Mm-hmm. And it was just the first game versus the final game for NBA. So soccer's got a lot more staying power than the news media will give it credit for. But
well, I think we've talked about this before. Soccer's an interesting one. You don't have to have poles and big places to have goals and that kind of thing.
You literally just have to have a ball.
You have to have a ball.
That's all.
The rest of it you can make up.
Exactly.
Put a rock on this side and a rock on this side, and
that's why
go.
It's the world's game, right?
Yeah.
We were watching track last night too, and the girl that won the 800, she's from Gambia. Gambia has 2.4 million people in it. She moved to Charlotte, and Charlotte has more people than the country she was from. And I was looking at it, and the average GDP per capita is like 3,000 per person in Gambia.
Wow.
But they can play soccer because all that's required is a ball. They don't have infrastructure to swim. They don't have infrastructure to play baseball or anything like that, tennis, but they can have a ball.
Yeah.
And that's why it's the world's game, because we are privileged enough to about do whatever we want to do here, but that's not the case everywhere.
I know that. Well, I mean, I know for sure in Mexico. So you say America, but Mexico, do they have their own team?
They do,
and so they literally. Soccer is their sport.
Yeah,
I mean, that's been their sport since I was 15. I literally witnessed it. I went down there and watched. In the middle of the busiest cities, you would just play in the street, and they would put a rock on both sides, and there's cars to either side of you, and they're over there. And the only words I could understand when they were naming some of the players, but I don't remember the players' names back then. Yeah. But it'd be like a kid now saying Messi or something.
Yeah,
you know when they're saying Messi, even if it's in a different language.
Yep.
So.
Well, anyway, we watched it all night. I don't have as good of a story as you do. And it's a bit of a journey to get to a concert, but again, he had a good reason for not watching.
Oh yeah, it was good.
But the problem was, he would, as he said, he would not watch it even if he was home. Probably.
I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
I would have found something else to do.
Yeah.
I know you're like a really good dad out there on the soccer field, and you're helping, and you're putting goals up, and I'm like, I can't stand this sport. Like, I don't like it, man. I don't know. It's not understanding it. Not where I didn't play it as a kid. Like I look like a goofball kicking the ball. So
well, I think honestly that's probably why a lot of people in the U.S. don't pay attention to it, is because they feel like they look goofy kicking a ball. But you also probably look goofy swinging for a baseball bat too.
Sure.
So.
I'm sure. I definitely look goofy doing that. Only thing I can do is I can shoot a basketball, and I can play a little tennis too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
What about, so let me just ask you a few questions about soccer, okay?
Yeah.
What about it do you love? I know it's like a thing for you. You really enjoy it.
It's the patience that is required to play soccer. And we talked about, I think, in the first one, it's the cerebral, talk about with Mike on Friday too, because he likes soccer. But with football's a very cerebral sport, but not from a player's perspective. The players just do whatever their coaches tell them to do, right? So the coaches are really working their brain to figure out exactly what to do, make adjustments, and change. The quarterback thinks, and maybe a safety or middle linebacker, but everybody else just does whatever they're told. Soccer's not that way.
Yeah.
Every single person on the field has to think through what they're doing. It's not a matter of being told. The coach doesn't have as much input on a soccer pitch as they do on a football field or even a basketball court.
A soccer what?
Pitch.
So there's a different name for it.
They call it a pitch, yeah.
See, I'm telling you, dude, I'm out of the loop.
But that's what I like. It requires that, and it's a game of patience and moving back and forth until you find something and then taking advantage of it.
Is it the distance that causes everybody to have to think? Like, what's the thing here? Or is it just that the dynamics change?
Part of it's
so
the
much?
size of the field, but it's also just the fact that you have to be ready to do something at every time. You can't just stand there and expect something to happen. It has to be a constant movement. Even if you have the ball and nobody's pushing you, you got to be able to move. And so because the game can change on you in an instant, it requires you to think the whole time, as opposed to football. So the thing about football, I'm thinking for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And then I'm stop thinking. Thinking for 5 seconds, I stop thinking. Thinking for 5 seconds, I stop thinking.
Oh, yeah.
So you're having this, and basketball is the same way. And it's different. If somebody scores on you in soccer, it's a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
If you get scored on in basketball, oh well, just try to stop them next time.
Do better next time.
Yeah. Soccer, you get scored on, it's a major problem.
I mean, so you're talking like these players are the best of the best. Like, what was the score?
For soccer, for the U.S., it was 4-1.
So 4-1.
Yeah.
How long's the game?
It's 90 minutes, but it runs for 45 minutes, and then the clock never stops. And so if there's a period where a player gets hurt and lays on the ground for a minute, the referee adds a minute for that half. So it could go for 50 minutes for the first half. The second half could go for 50, 55 minutes.
Okay.
Just depends. It depends on how much stoppage time you have.
So right at an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's guaranteed. What they're trying to guarantee is 90 minutes of game flow. So if you take away the periods where they stop and fall and get hurt, or set up penalty kicks, or he gives a card, stuff like that, they're working for 90 minutes of pure game flow.
Yeah, so this will tell you how mean people are going to judge me. So I think what y'all.
Wow, I would say.
But like, what is basketball? How long is basketball? How long is football in comparison?
Football's 15 minutes apiece, so it's an hour's worth of game.
Basketball's less than that, isn't it?
Basketball is 12 minutes,
maybe
quarter, I think, for the NBA. I don't know.
So it's long. So it's a longer time frame too.
It is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You were running a whole lot more too.
How big's the field? Do you know the measurements?
I don't know the measurements anymore. Okay. I know the average midfielder, which is the person that typically plays forward and back.
Okay.
They'll run a 10K. They'll move 10 kilometers every match easily.
Wow.
So they have to be ready to move 6 to 7 miles in that 90-minute period of time.
Wow.
Yeah.
In 90 minutes?
Oh yeah. Yeah, like they have they track them. So that's what I like about it too, is it requires not just the mental horsepower, but it requires the physical prowess as well. You can't be bulky. Does not work in soccer. If you're 250 pounds, it ain't going to play well.
Yeah. Now, what position did you play?
I was mostly a defensive player.
Are you?
Probably realistically more of a defensive mid, and that I could play forward, but my job was to see the field and kind of be a general on the field.
Yeah, it's like one thing I have learned is that it takes a different type of brain to run both, especially at the little kid's age.
Yeah.
I always, and Theo wants to be
left winger,
whatever he wants to be. You know what he wants to be,
yeah.
And I'm always like, dude, you see the field better than the average kid. And I said, what they need for someone who sees the field is to stay back and keep goals from happening.
Correct.
Because you're seeing them coming.
Your left winger does that some too. I mean, they got to be able to see the pitch to know where to run. So
the pitch. I'm so sorry.
Again, that's the difference in soccer versus football, right? And even basketball. The coach has told me to run a post route, or the coach has told me to go set a pick and then roll down. Soccer, you've got plays, but there requires a substantial amount of improvisation, because there's a play, but that doesn't mean the players are going to respond accordingly to the play. Mm-hmm. So, like if the left winger is running down, and you've called a certain play and it's supposed to come into him, but the defender's pulled over and created a gap, he's going to run into the gap instead. So it requires that's why it requires constant mental effort.
Yeah. Well, it's probably Theo's favorite sport. He loves it. Is it your all's favorite sport? No. What's your favorite? Running.
Yeah.
Of course. Of course.
Soccer.
You like soccer? Okay.
Yeah.
I think Theo's with Beckett. I think he would say soccer.
Yeah.
I think Shelby too, but she hasn't done much.
She hasn't done much. No.
What about Reagan?
No. This is the only sport she's done so far. That and running.
So she's in the same boat.
Yeah.
Oh, running.
Yeah.
If I'm running, you better run too, because something's chasing me. 6 miles.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, in 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I'd die of a heart attack.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it. They're doing it all the time.
Yeah.
If you're going to play soccer, you have to be in good running shape. It's not just about, throwing somebody around. And there's no respite, right?
Yeah.
I mean, basketball, you're going to get subbed in and out. If you get subbed out in soccer and once you get older, you're done. Mm-hmm. You don't come back on in the game. So some of those guys play the entire 90 minutes. There's no getting off.
Wow.
And so it's,
That's insane.
Yeah.
Well, I know some of them are older than me.
Oh, yeah. The U.S. has a guy their captain's 36, 37 years old, 38.
Ew.
I think Messi's 40.
Yeah. That's older than me.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
They're not doing the same things they used to do, but
None of us are. None of us are. This might help my friendship with you. We went into Buc-ee's, and Buc-ee's is a great trip, and I was really tempted. They had soccer jerseys, and they said Buc-ee's on the front. I was tempted.
That's funny.
I was like, yeah, but I hate this sport.
Yeah, part of the beauty of it is, have you seen? We kind of will tie some, I think, into this maybe, but. So you've had all these tourists come from overseas, from Europe, and they're coming into America, and they're not necessarily always staying in Atlanta or they're New York. They're traveling the countryside because it's an excuse to see the country, right?
Yeah.
And might not ever do it again. So you've got these people from Germany and Netherlands and all that sort of stuff, and they watch the news over there too, right? And they get it disseminated, whatever they get disseminated. And they come here and they're having a different experience when they're not in the cities.
Oh, interesting.
And that's kind of the cool thing about the World Cup is if it's going to be a natural way to force somebody visiting to experience the full country and not just the city.
Yeah, not just whatever the curated.
So they're going and they're stopping in maybe here. And when they're stopping here, they're getting served food, and when they're getting served food, they're like, what are you doing here? And the people don't know, right? Because if you talk to the average person on the street in Smith County or Washington County, they won't even know what the World Cup is.
Yeah.
No advertising, nothing around here. And so when they hear that somebody from the Netherlands has showed up in Chilhowie, Virginia, they give them free food. And it's blowing the tourist mind because that's not what they've been told Americans are. And that's the beauty of it all too, is you actually get to experience the full culture rather than the tourist spots.
Yeah. Well, Cindy told me that they'll not be back in the U.S. for like 30 years, right?
Well, the last time was 94.
Okay.
And 2026. And then who knows after that. It's not guaranteed to ever come back.
Yeah.
It will, but...
but it's in Canada, the U.S., and Mexico?
Correct.
Any of the other Latin Americans? Or
no,
just those
three.
Just those three.
Yeah. Yeah, they've started doing that recently where they've split it a little bit, and I think to help the budget.
And it helps all three countries versus just helping one.
Yeah, typically they don't like to have too many because if you're a host country, you're guaranteed a spot. You don't have to actually participate in the tournaments to qualify. You just get the spot. That's why they don't typically like to do it, but... They expanded the field from 32 teams to 48 teams this year to try to monetize the sport.
How do you
more.
qualify for a spot? What's that look like?
You've got different regions, right? So North America and the Caribbeans play against each other, and usually only 2 teams qualify out of that. All of South America plays against each other, and 2 or 3 teams qualify. Europe maybe gets 5, 6 teams. So they've got a formula, and each different region has a number of people, and they have to go through qualifying matches to qualify.
So being in all 3 countries, we already had more than maybe normal.
Yes.
Yeah. Are there any other countries that are in North America that are in it?
Haiti.
Oh, really?
Because they expanded to 48, so they allowed more teams in than normal.
That's cool.
I don't think Costa Rica. I don't know if Costa Rica made it this time. Usually they have a pretty good, team that plays.
Now, is it like the Olympics? So I know that, like some of these professional players, they play here during like the season year or whatever. But is it like the Olympics? Like they go play for their home country?
Yes. So, but nobody plays here. All the good players play in Europe.
All the good players play in Europe.
So you either play in Spain, Germany, or England.
Well, or
Italy. Those are the.
Where's Messi playing?
Right now he plays in Miami.
I was gonna say, I thought one of them was here.
Yeah, but that was to monetize. It's not because he's trying to become great. He was just trying to make money. He's not in Miami for any other reason besides just to line his pocket.
But he doesn't play for the U.S.
No, he plays for Argentina.
He plays for Argentina.
Correct. Yeah.
He's got I know he's got the little blue and white jersey.
Yeah,
right?
That's Argentina.
Yeah. That's just because Theo wanted one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to get a Buc-ee's one.
Well, good.
Do you like Buc-ee's?
It's very clean.
Oh, yeah.
I don't particularly like getting gas there. I've gotten a good experience once getting gas. The other times it's waiting in line. And when I'm traveling, I don't want to wait in line for gas. I'm not about that. We go and go.
Well, it's a huge store.
It is. It is.
But they say fresh brisket on the board. And
I know.
they're like speaking my language. All right. You ready to get into Bible study?
Let's do it.
Okay. So we're continuing Matthew, and we're going to read Matthew 8, 23 through 27. And Brandon's going to start with the English Standard.
And when he got into the boat, his disciples followed him. And behold, there arose a great storm on the sea, so that the boat was being swamped by the waves. But he was asleep. And they went and woke him, saying, Save us, Lord, we are perishing. And he said to them, Why are you afraid, O you of little faith? Then he rose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. And the men marveled, saying, What sort of man is this, that even winds and sea obey him?
The New Living Translation. Then Jesus got into the boat and started across the lake with his disciples. Suddenly a fierce storm struck the lake, with waves breaking into the boat. But Jesus was sleeping. The disciples went and woke him, shouting, Lord, save us. We're going to drown. Jesus responded, Why are you afraid? You have so little faith? Then he got up and rebuked the wind and waves, and suddenly there was a great calm. The disciples were amazed. Who is this man? They asked. Even the winds and waves obey him.
And the message. Then he got into the boat, his disciples with him. The next thing they knew, they were in a severe storm. Waves were crashing into the boat, and he was sound asleep. They roused him, pleading, Master, save us, we're going down. Jesus reprimanded them. Why are you such cowards, such faint hearts? Then he stood up and told the wind to be silent and the sea to quiet down. Silence. The sea became as smooth as glass. The men rubbed their eyes, astonished. What's going on here? Wind and sea stand up and take notice at his command.
I mean, this is a huge moment for them.
Oh, yeah.
This is huge.
Yeah.
They've watched him do things that probably no one else can do. And this takes them back.
Well, you got to think too that at some level they've watched him do things that they've seen prophets do.
Yeah.
This is the first time they've seen him do something that nothing has ever occurred before.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. The only time we've ever seen the water do something was when but Moses didn't do it.
Yeah, Moses was told to do it.
He put a staff in, and the staff did it, right? Yeah. Or God, but this is the first time that words did something that a prophet has not done in the past.
Okay. I'm literally trying to think of any other circumstances where I know. I mean, because the other ones I can think of are like they prayed for rain and rain came, but again, you're praying to God to do that, not to your own ability.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So I think it is a huge moment for them.
Dude, we need to do these podcasts before the sermons. So we're recording on Sunday this time. And I would have definitely put that in there. That would have been in there. That would have been a discussion point.
Well, and I think you see it with their response here is, wait. And I loved how you touched on Job here. Because Job's probably really the first time that God has shown, Job is a great part of Job's beauty is that it's a man of patience, but it shows the true character of God.
Yeah.
And I love how you tied that into the sermon.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I think Job triggered here for them. That's why they're amazed and marveling because they're like, wait, I don't think anybody realized the Messiah and God were the same.
Yeah. Oh man, I bet. I wonder if this is a first realization for them too.
Yeah.
And I think that, it might even be a first realization for folks here that heard it, you know, that Jesus wasn't just like part of God, but he was God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that summary wise, that's really the summary.
Oh,
He speaks and the winds and waves obey.
Yeah.
That there's nothing like this in our existence.
No.
Nothing.
No.
You know,
we've tried. We try to create machines that'll do it, but they always win out in some way. Think about how much man has tried to control water, and the wind and the seas, and how it fails every time.
Yeah, I mean, I can even think about like the storm we were in on Friday.
Yeah.
I mean, it came fast, and it wasn't like there's any control in it. You might as well just
ride it out.
Hunker down and ride it out, you know, because it is what it is.
Yeah.
So there's the summary. I mean, is there anything else we should add to the summary?
I don't think so. I think it's pretty self-explanatory here.
You know, I will add, I would love for folks to read the Mark version of this too.
Yeah.
So anybody that, especially skeptical people, the reason why I threw that in there is because I really kind of try to view some things through the eyes of a skeptic. And like, this is one where if you just read Matthew's version, you're like, this looks like a fable. You know, there's no real details. Matthew is literally pulling all the details out so that you can focus on your Christology, your thoughts about who Christ is. And that's it.
Yeah.
Where Mark puts the details in, you know. And
I think too, I mean, you hit on it again. Mark and Luke are not designed for the Jews. Matthew's designed for the Jews. And so when they would have heard this, they didn't need additional context because they understood the history of the Torah. And they understood Job, and they knew what the prophets had done and what they hadn't done. And they realized that that's the way I would look at it, is that Matthew was pointing out that this is different. I don't need to explain it more.
Yeah.
Plus he's an accountant. so for him it's
words. Just say what happened. I'm sure this is in like the Luke version as well, so I don't know how Luke addresses it, if he adds details or not.
Oh yeah.
I try not to read too, like, just like I said from the sermon, like I try not to overlay them. I try to let them be what they are for what the purpose was where they were written. But you know, every rule's made to be broken. I'm sure that
Luke's pretty similar to Matthew.
Yeah.
You know, Mark does have the most detail, more story-like.
Oh yeah, when you read Mark, you're like, oh, there's so many details.
Yeah.
He even says what he says. I mean, where are all these details at, Matthew?
Yeah.
So go read Mark. It's in Mark 4, I think, right?
It is. Mark 4:35 through 41.
Yep. Nothing else on summary then. Let's, I think maybe something in translation we should talk about that I saw just now.
Sure, go.
English Standard, and I didn't read the Message, but English Standard does translate that phrase, and they followed him. You know, again, it's in the very first verse. I'm not sure the NLT did a great job on that because it's so different.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, it was
so different.
It's implying that Jesus was ready to go, the disciples were not.
Yeah, and it says, the NLT says, and he started across the lake with his disciples, but the disciples weren't ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, he told them to be ready to go, but they weren't.
Yeah.
So that to me, that's a significant difference.
I think it is. Yeah.
So
I didn't notice that until now either.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wrote down kind of in my prep, Jesus knew what was about to happen. So I think it's even more telling that he chose to get into the boat first because he needed the disciples to be there for this event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, this one, even though it's short, even though it's kind of basic, it's got a lot in it. I literally type my notes out and what I do is I type out all my thoughts, just jot them all, everything I read, everything I've heard when I'm preparing, and then I try to dwindle it down to
a sermon,
5-page sermon.
Yeah.
And I know if I have 10 pages of notes, I can get to 5 pages and have enough material. I had 17 pages of notes when I ended. I was like, okay.
Well, I mean, you could probably do 3 whole sermons on just these 4 verses.
Yeah.
So again, there's a lot.
Well, and you could cross-reference the idea of God controlling the winds and waves. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere in the Bible. I
Yeah.
mean, we didn't read anything about Genesis. It's in Genesis. We didn't read anything about Psalms. It's in Psalms.
Yeah.
It's like a thread that runs throughout the Bible. Like that's part of God's nature as creator. He controls nature. And I just love the Job one. My favorite one is like, God's like, okay. Okay, you're going to have to answer some questions.
That's the part I love about Job, is not that Job gets to ask God questions, it's that God asks Job questions.
Yeah, you're going to have to answer some questions.
Yeah.
Where were you?
What were you doing when I was creating all this? Well, one of the things I liked about this, and that's why I love that you tied it into Job, is that the Bible shows time and time again through Jesus' life, through the character of God, that he controls all of creation except for one. And it shows how much he loves us, that he does not control us. Mm-hmm. You know, we are the one thing he's ever created that he never controls.
Yeah. He made us in his image.
Yeah.
And I think we always think image is like this. That's not image.
Yeah.
It's what you just said.
Yeah.
We are creators too.
Yeah.
Not that we create on the scale that he creates, but we do create worlds.
Yeah.
You know, we get the freedom to choose our career, our positions. So.
Oh, we got a question.
Uh-oh.
So does he control animals?
He does. So the question was, does God control animals?
What a good question.
Yeah.
I would say yes. Because animals, the reason why I'd answer yes, Rory, is because animals only do what is instinctual to them. So like even when it looks like they're making their own choice, it's just a basic instinct to survive. You and I sometimes don't make choices to survive. We make choices that are broader than that.
Yeah.
And we create too. One of the things animals don't do is they don't
They cannot create anything that we're doing right now.
And they may bite each other and that kind of stuff, but I can say a word right now, just one, that would hurt your dad worse than anything I could do to him physically. Because our words have power. So, which would be different than the animals too. You agree with that? I love that question.
Yeah.
Ask him more, okay?
But that is the beauty here, right? Is that he does do that with the animals, but he doesn't do that with us. He allows us to choose whether we follow him or whether we don't follow him.
Yeah.
Whether we live in the sin or whether we try to break free of it. That's one of the things I love most about this passage, is it shows that. Because we would think of, and I think they would think of this too, is that a storm, water, wind is the most powerful thing on this planet. If you break it down, water can destroy everything. And if it has the power to do that, it just shows to me, it shows how much God loves us, that he gives us that freedom.
I mean, to them, we probably have a less mystical view of it. Mm-hmm. But to them, water is the deepest evil.
Yeah.
I mean, God holds back, according to what they believe, that when God created dry ground, God holds back the evil and the chaos of that evil. You know, when God first spoke the earth into existence, it was covered in water. Yeah. And so, they were leery of water. Yeah. But because it's so destructive. If it's coming down your street, guess what?
You're gone.
It's coming down your street. Like there's nothing you're going to do to stop it. You can put stuff up in its way, and eventually it's going to tear that stuff down.
Yeah. Every dam will break.
Exactly. When we were kids, my parents had a creek in front of their house. Mm-hmm. And it was the Big Walker Creek, so it's not like a huge creek, but we could dam it up. Mm-hmm. And we would spend so much time building a dam, and we would put the heaviest rocks we could get over there. Just give it a day or two, and that water is going to move your dam. It just does.
Yeah.
It moves rocks that were hard for us to pick up. And I'm a grown adult. And guess what? every once in a while, us grown adult brothers decide we're going to rebuild that dam because we do it and the water eventually moves it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's destructive.
It is.
It's as destructive of a force as fire is.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
More so.
And
it's easier to control fire.
Yeah. And fire is destructive as well. I'm not saying it's not destructive.
Yeah.
So
But
anybody's went
it's,
through that.
it's easier to control it.
Yeah.
You know, you start a fire somewhere, you can put it out. But like you said, if water decides it's going to move, there's very little you can do to stop it.
Yeah. That was one of the secrets of the message was, guess what? Nature wins, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You want to be on that side? Oh, I doubt that.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, what did you like? I mean, I've got some other
Let's
things
do some
too,
likes and
Oh, well,
challenges.
I got a question if you will,
Oh,
if you'll
yeah.
allow it.
Well, maybe.
All right. So we talked about it a little bit last week. The word rebuke here I found interesting. So
Okay.
I kind of went back through and looked at the times it's typically used in the Bible. You know, it's typically used in context with devil, demons.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you is this. Is this storm naturally occurring?
We did talk about this last week, didn't we?
Yeah. To me, this seems like Jesus is not just rebuking the wind and the water. He is commanding the demons to do what he wants them to do.
Let me. I'm just trying to look something up.
And so let me use it's this Jude 1.
Oh, okay.
Or sorry, Jude 1, verse 9. But when the archangel Michael, contending with the devil, was disputing about the body of Moses, he did not presume to pronounce a blasphemous judgment, but said, "The Lord rebuke you."
Yeah.
You know, it's used a couple of different times, but I was just curious of your thoughts here. Was this the devil? Because what Jesus does next, right? As soon as he lands at the next side of the aisle, what does he do? And we'll talk about that next week. But to me, is the devil trying to? You almost wonder at some level, does the devil really understand the power of Jesus? And so he's trying to exert his influence here to stop what's about to occur next. Or maybe it's the two demons here that have sent the winds and the waves to try to stop Jesus from getting to him. I don't know. I was just curious of your thoughts here.
Oh, I don't really have any right off the bat. I mean, I would say that even if that thought process is true, that it has evil intentions, right? That would be what that kind of means to me, is that there's evil intentions.
With
It's
the
not
storm.
just a regular run-of-the-mill storm,
Mm-hmm.
even if it has evil intentions.
Well, you got to
It's
think.
before the death, burial, resurrection of Jesus.
Sure.
And even the Jude one is about Moses. It's before the death, burial, resurrection of Jesus.
Yeah.
And like Jesus overcomes those battles. So I'm not sure we could put evil intent on our storms. I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, at least I still think it's probably. I mean, because it's definitely an unnatural storm. I mean, because there's 3 or 4 fishermen on this boat. These guys would have spent their whole lives on water. They'd have seen storms, and so they would have understood how to navigate them. But even they didn't understand how to navigate this one. That's why I say it has to have some sort of unnatural influence over it to cause the disciples to
I think you
become
can
worried.
You can hear for sure a out of the ordinary fear in this situation.
Yeah.
I mean, James and John and Peter and Andrew, I mean, this is what they did.
Mm-hmm.
They spent every day of their life on this lake. Like this isn't
Yeah.
a run of the mill storm for a run of the mill area. Like it would have been normal for them to have storms on a regular basis. So there's something drastically different about this storm.
Yeah.
And I would even imagine, and this is just me imagining, like if you're the disciples and you're having this, we got to go interrupt him, he's napping. Like I ain't gonna be the one that goes down there unless I have to.
Who woke him?
I ain't going down there unless I have to. And I kind of feel like it is like they went not as a first resort, but they went as a last resort. Like we have no other choice but to go wake him.
Yeah.
Even if it's just not out of fear of him, but out of respect and out of love for him, you know. So you do get the idea that this was not normal.
Yeah.
So I looked at it maybe more from a language than a spiritual thing, you know. It is definitely a different storm, right? Because it says megas as one of the words in there. It's a great, fierce storm is what it says. That's the Greek word megas. But it's also even not like a windstorm. It calls it a seismos. So, yeah, I don't know. Well, and even if that's true, again, the other place you see a mega seismos is when Jesus overcomes the sting of the devil.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, that's...
there's probably a lot to unpack there too, but there's probably some to unpack there too then.
Yeah. I mean, that's both of those words. Well, one of the things I thought was interesting and didn't know how to unravel it or communicate it was one was caused by something Jesus didn't cause, but then the other great earthquake was something Jesus caused. And so I did talk about it like they're both as unmanageable as the other.
Oh, well.
You know, they both caused the great earthquake. The difference is one loves you and one doesn't.
Yeah.
One has
evil intentions.
No intentions or evil intentions, right?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And the other loves you.
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah, there's a difference in storms when they're created by one versus the other.
Mm-hmm. I told you, man, I had 17 pages of notes.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to communicate these big ideas.
Sure.
And I know this happens to me a lot is I'll communicate big ideas and then just move right to the next big idea because I don't have any, I don't have any more runway. Like, you know, I don't preach 50-minute sermons. Sometimes I wish I did.
Sometimes it would be useful.
Dude, I love listening to 50-minute sermons. I mean, one of my favorite preachers, he literally doesn't preach under 50 minutes.
Jeez.
And I love it.
Yeah.
But it's not our culture.
Right.
And to flip the switch because I had a whim of a desire, that wouldn't be a loving act to do, right?
Understood.
It wouldn't be building up the church. It would be Justin just did what he wanted to do.
Yeah. So. Well, what challenged you here?
You know,
outside of containing your sermon.
I honestly think part of what challenged me is my desire to contain Jesus. I want him to fit into certain understandable boxes. I want him to be the Son of God. That to me fits better. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when you read it in the context of no, he was God, it makes it a whole lot more uncontrollable.
Yeah.
And I think that is a challenge. So like, even when things are going on in my life, things are going on in someone else's life, you want to control them. Like you want to, hey, here's my desire. You just rubber stamp it. Yeah. you know, you just let me do what I want to do. Yeah. And it's like, he's as equally unmanageable as nature. Yeah. So that is challenging.
Well, I think if you try to leave him in the context of just the Son of Man, it's maybe easier to rectify his death and sacrifice. But if you think of him as the same as God, and God again choosing to love us more than we could ever love him, and him choosing to sacrifice himself for us, that is kind of challenging to process.
Yeah. Yeah, like why would he do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would he do that?
Yeah, I mean, going back to the animal question, right? I mean, we have those animalistic behaviors, and if you really break it down, most animals are going to choose you over themselves, and that's not what he did. So yeah, it's challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Hey, what about you? What'd you do in your likes or challenges?
Oh, well, I've talked a lot about what I've liked, but
Oh, you didn't challenge?
challenges-wise, knowing that we are given storms to know where our hearts truly lie. You know, the storms bring out our true character, and that's challenging because sometimes our true character is not what we want it to be.
Well, and that's what I think that's a great challenge because that's what he's concerned about.
Yeah.
He's not concerned about the storm.
No.
The storm didn't even cross his mind.
Yeah.
The first thing he says is, okay, what about your faith?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he didn't say, I understand you're scared. He didn't say, I'll fix it. Like, but what about your faith?
Yeah. Yeah, and he showcases it here because his faith is so pure that he's not worried about whatever's going on around him.
No.
You know, and so it's the dual challenge there is if our faith is pure, then we're never afraid. And I love the dichotomy there too of that challenge of I'm not going to be worried about what's happening. I'm going to be worried about you just looking up.
So are you ever afraid?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any man that tells you he's not is a fool.
A fool. I literally was getting ready to say, you could call them a fool.
Yeah. Fears change, right? There's evolution to fears, but
They do change, don't they?
they do. Yeah.
I remember when I was younger, like in my teens, dude, death was like a tremendous fear. I mean, a terrible, horrific fear. But I don't really care about that as much. Not anymore, you know.
Yeah.
That one doesn't even cross my mind.
Yeah.
But you have kids, and golly, your fears change like crazy.
They do. They do.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of life and storms in general is they're not always the same. And it changes enough so that, again, our storms test us for where we are. And that's why I wish I had noticed that his disciples followed him because Jesus was already setting this test up.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about what do you learn about God and what do you learn about people?
Well, I talked about it earlier. It's that God loves us so much that he won't control us like he can everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things, and I need to really study it some more and really think through it, but to think that the Creator steps into the parameters of his creation, right? and becomes like us, is just astonishing.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one thing that we learn is God loves us and demonstrates and shows and comes up close to and is in the middle of a storm.
Yeah.
Like God submitted himself to the middle of a storm of whatever, whether it had evil intentions or whether it was just nature.
Yeah.
He submitted himself to that.
Yeah. Knowingly, he knowingly went into the storm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowingly.
Yeah. That's beauty of Christianity, or beauty of Jesus and God. Different than every other religion is you actually have a God who's willing to sacrifice himself for you versus a God who just wants you to sacrifice for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Well, people.
Oh, wait. I got to say something about people.
Yeah.
I got to say something about
All right,
people.
You go.
Because you said something last week that has really resonated in my Discovery Bible studies.
Okay.
Well, after you and I did the podcast last week, you said we always think about something negative. Like I want to see something positive. And man, every time I was like, I know we tend to see something negative, and I said this did not come from me. This came from Brandon. I said, but every time we see something negative, or we try to see something negative, like, what about the positives that we see? And man, it really changed the way the conversation was, like the way it drifted and went.
Yeah.
And so I'm definitely going to use that as like, don't just focus on the negative.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to do. Like, you're always going to see positives when you're talking about what you like about God. But again, we talked about it last time. Humans are left to their own devices, are sinful creatures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, what did you learn about people?
Oh, I don't know. I'm a negative Nancy. You know me. I'm like, people suck.
Well,
but
you said something earlier that I liked.
Go ahead.
About people. Not what I learned about people, what I liked about people is that they clearly knew that something was special about Jesus, but they tried to solve it themselves first. They didn't want to bother the Creator with something that they thought they could handle.
Yeah.
There's good and bad into that, but I think they clearly leaned into the idea that Jesus was different, and so because of it, they wanted to be respectful and fearful of who he was.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, worst case scenario, they knew where to go.
That too, yeah.
Even though it was little faith, it was still faith because they knew where to go.
Yeah.
I mean, if they had no faith, they wouldn't have known where to go.
Yeah.
They would have been like, I guess just keep bailing it until
we die.
until we're gone. Like, so even though it's little faith, it is faith.
Mm-hmm.
And then that reminds me of one of the things Jesus says. And he says that all you have to have is the faith of a mustard seed.
Yeah.
You know, that's what the kingdom of God is. The kingdom of God, the faith of a mustard seed.
Yeah.
You can say to this mountain, you can say to Mount Rogers, go from here
To
and
there.
move 3 feet to the right.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the faith of a mustard seed.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
no.
Yeah.
No.
So what did you learn about people?
That's what I learned about.
Okay, good.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, that's just one of my thoughts. Is
Yeah. What was your?
I'm looking at
what
the
was your-
positive.
What was your negative on it?
I'm looking at, the negative is I kind of feel like we see this a lot in them. Like they should have known.
Oh, yeah.
They should have known.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it should have been not running for panic.
Yeah.
It should have been, hey, we gotta go wake
Straight to
him up.
him.
You know,
Yeah,
we
straight
gotta
to him.
go. We gotta go wake him up.
Yeah.
He'll take care of it. He'll handle it. He's not ignoring us in our hour of need.
Mm-hmm.
He will answer in a way in which builds his kingdom, but he will answer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I almost wonder if I wonder if Jesus was telling him, if you had waited, I would have done it anyway. But I was trying to test how long your patience was. So that's the negative here is, like you said, the impatience of humanity.
yeah. Well, and the panic too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of what you see is we do tend to panic when we get put into a circumstance that is a problem or trouble.
Yeah.
And like
Unexpected.
yeah, unexpected surprise. Here it is.
Yeah.
And so I
This
think,
wasn't a storm they could see coming. They didn't know they were going into it. So it was how do we respond when the unseen storm comes?
I tend to panic too. I mean, I'm not anything different. I mean, I get put into circumstances.
Well, you talked about it a little bit on your drive to Forrest Frank concert, right? It's the natural human response that I think we all have is
just let me drive.
yeah.
Just let me drive.
Just let me drive.
Yeah, I know where we're going.
Yeah.
Again, and that's like a not troublesome. I don't want to say troublesome. It is a thought to ponder that you can't control God.
Yeah.
That's one of the things Jesus says. Jesus says, and the Spirit goes from here and there, and no one knows. That's when talking to Nicodemus. I mean, I think in John 3. So, well, any other learnings?
Oh, well, we could, but we're going to try to keep it. I don't know if we're at an hour or not, but
We are.
Good.
Well, we're close. We're in the ballpark.
Again, we could go a long time on this one.
Yeah.
Because there's many facets to this unpacked that again you could you could go a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Again, the fact that Jesus, it's kind of, I love, again, we'll go back to Job a little bit. This story and Job are very similar. You know, Jesus slept knowing what was going to occur, while the same thing happened in Job. God allowed the devil to do what he wanted to do because he needed to test the faith of it all.
Which is a good question of, like, if I'm going through something, what is God refining in me? Like,
Sure.
what difference in my faith needs to be pointed out to me?
Yeah.
Because maybe I'm not seeing something that God's seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And He can see the picture that I can't see. He's working something I don't know. What is it? How do I open up to that?
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's a good thought to end on.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. We're going to continue. I'm at least going to do one more week in Matthew. So
Yeah.
got to finish chapter 8.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because, again, that's why I think the rebuke probably ties into this next part. But I'll let you tell me whether I'm wrong or not next week. How's that?
what if it's both and?
I think it can be.
It can be, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Yeah.
You ever read, you should not have you ever read, you probably have read the book of Daniel,
Mm-hmm.
but the last few chapters of the book of Daniel really speak into that battle between the two. Like there's some really interesting things that are in there.
Yeah.
So, all right. Am I praying? You
I'll pray.
All
Yeah,
right. You
yeah.
pray for us. And just anybody wants to add a note to Brandon and I, link in the comment. Part of the reason why we do this is to equip you to take the same model, 3 versions, 4 questions, 2 prayers. What does God want you to do or stop? And who does God want you to tell? And I think that this is a great model anybody can take into a conversation where you're wanting to disciple someone else. So,
Probably should name it 5 questions instead of 4 questions.
and what's the 5?
Well, not just what did you like about people on a good thing and what did
Oh,
you like
yeah,
about
exactly.
people in a bad way.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. I'm literally going to do it from now on.
Yeah.
So, because it's really been different in the conversations. All right,
Yeah.
let's pray.
Yeah. Lord, thank you for everything you've given us. Thank you for choosing to love us so much that you do not control us and that you allow us the choice of whether to follow you or not. We are grateful for that distinction, and we ask that as people go through their week, they continually find ways to choose you versus the world. Please keep all the kids safe this week at camp, and allow this week to further strengthen their opinions and perspective on you. In your name we pray, amen. Go choose Christ completely.